And we are live. Hey, let me turn on my players here.
Me.
Good morning, folks.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
senor.
Django.
Oh, yeah, ready for some gaming? I know I am.
Awesome.
I'm ready to kill some ghost pirates, lad.
Oh, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. You can't
Yeah, we
kill it.
will.
You can't kill what's already dead. I've been
True.
thinking about. I've got the little chat rewards down there. If you're watching the stream and you click on the little barrel of rum down there, you'll see that you collect points. And I've been thinking about adding a pirate jokes button there because I found a book of some really bad pirate jokes.
Oh my god.
So,
Give me a
are
second,
they
I'll be right back.
are they pirate dad jokes
Yeah,
or pirate jokes?
I've got I got a variety, but I was thinking about adding a pirate jokes button,
Oh, that's
redeemable, either that or maybe I'll just start every stream with a pirate joke. But
I see our cameras aren't loading.
yeah,
I'm not quite on yet, so
let me
give me a few.
I don't know why it wants to fight me every time. Hit
Because you're a
refresh.
communist, Jingo, it hates you.
Yeah, I'm not certain. Give me one moment.
Well, no worries.
Let me go back to my own here.
Let's see. What do I want? I want that.
Yay! That was a smart idea. I took my tablet and opened up a web browser. And so I can put my tablet on my desk and see you fuckers.
Oh, that'd be, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And like
Well-
that, I can just open up his Twitch stream and just watch the Twitch stream on the tablet. Right?
That's
But
a
there's
good
still
idea.
that delay that's a little hard
There's
for me
always
to.
a 4-second delay. You just got to make sure you turn the sound down. Because we're hearing what's being broadcast.
Right.
Right.
But just that little bit of delay. Sometimes
Oh, it totally messes
good
with you.
thing. Yeah, the good thing about being on camera is you can use facial gestures and hand gestures and things with your other players, and it really helps. It
Well, plus you can see
changed
the look of the face, so you can see
yeah.
where they're at with what they're saying.
Facial expressions, hand gestures. Yeah.
Yeah, that totally is awesome thing.
Good morning, Napes.
Good morning.
I see
I'm
Alistair.
trying to.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Okay, because my camera's live. I got to do something about the light in this room.
That should have been. Alright. And one more. Gots to love technical difficulties. Good morning, Spencer. Yo ho, yo ho. Drink up, me hearties, yo ho. Sven, I was thinking about adding a pirate jokes button to the redemption rewards. What say you, sir, about such an idea?
Why does this keep
And
saying?
apply, and there you are.
Why
does it keep saying what? Alicia?
Oh, that the Sirenscape. It keeps telling me that that this device is not linked, but then I, go to it online and it says that it's linked. But I'm like, okay,
Then I'll work on
what
such
am I
a thing,
doing
Mr.
wrong?
Sven. I'll work on such a thing.
I don't know.
At the
It's
top, it
my-
should say hello, your name, and then at the far right, there should be, it looks like a broken link. That unlinks your account if you click that. I know that.
What,
Right.
For Sirenscape?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the thing downloaded.
Let me
but it's not...
let me get you a fresh link, just in case,
Well, I mean, when I go on
Interwebs,
there,
can't trust them.
Oh, I know, right? But
Yeah, here we are,
Anyway, let me get
beaming
camera
our
mode, and then I'll
beautiful
worry about
faces
background
all
music.
over the webs.
Let's see. Good one, Sven.
Oh.
Good one.
Probably will help if I actually plug in my camera.
Cameras are overrated.
Right? Yeah, especially for me at this moment. Jeez Louise. I had kind of a unexpected late night last night, so...
Never
There
good.
is a
Taiwan.
fresh copy of the Sirenscape link if you need to re-link it.
Okay.
Right now, you should hear the lovely sounds of the sea.
Okay. There I am. Alright.
All right. Do you guys recall what we were doing last time?
Sailing over the
Yeah.
bounding main?
Oh no, you had arrived.
Yes. We found out some information that, well, we found somebody that knew the information, but we've got to go
Yes.
to the other side of the island to check out probably a cool haunted place or some
Yes. All
such.
right. To recap last time, you guys arrived in Bridgetown, Barbados. Some
There we
of
go.
you went ashore looking for information while some of you stayed on the boat. Um, while those of you on the boat dealt with, you know, a bunch of, urchin burglar types that were stealing from boats, tried to sink your own boat. Others of you ran afoul in town of ladies with knives looking to do bad things
Yeah.
to you that showed up after you started dropping the name of Lord Trevor as though you were looking for him. In the ensuing aftermath, both of the ladies ran afoul of the dangerous Ensign Stitch, who gave them the need for stitches. Um,
Snitches get
well,
stitches.
the
Yeah, pretty
one the one that fell from the balcony, you're pretty sure she's dead. The other one was dying and is probably dead, but well, maybe a miracle of modern medicine might have saved her, but you're pretty sure at least one is dead. And in the town watch is probably looking for somebody that fits your description, Stitch. So I know you guys retreated back to the boat for the remainder of the day, laid low, and the next day you went to speak to a gentleman. I believe his name was Patrick O'Reilly, who you heard might have information you need. You sat with him and had a drink of his rum. Actually, it was whiskey you guys were drinking. And he told you this tale. 52 years ago, a pirate captain by the name of LeFevre met his end running from the British. Fleeing with his ship badly damaged and on fire, he fled to the reefs west of Barbados where he had constructed a sea fort. Only he and a few of his men knew those reefs, and it is rumored he had guns and shots stashed throughout. He nearly made it home when his ship sank within sight of his stronghold. His ship to this day blocks the channel to the fort, so the only way to get there is by rowboat. Somewhere within the keep is certain to be his chart book showing the secrets of the reef. Bring it to me, and I can put you on the trail of Lord Trevor. And by the way, the locals tell that LeFevre's ghost still stalks those halls, but nobody believes in ghosts, right?
yeah, they're a bunch of superstitious old women. Pretty much.
I don't know. We're sailors, man. I mean, I think that's where hockey players get their superstitious nature from, as sailors.
Well, you know,
Baseball players, too. Baseball players are hugely superstitious.
Oh yeah.
why the pirates pierced their ear, right? because they believed that it would improve the eyesight in the eye opposite. So if they had shitty vision in the right eye, they'd pierce their left ear.
Really?
Yeah. And another reason, and the reason why some of them wore patches was because if you went from above deck to below deck,
Right.
you went into the pitch black. So if you popped open your patch, that eye was accustomed to the darkness, so you could see around the whole of the ship a lot easier. Yeah.
And then switch your eye patch to the other eye.
Mm.
Now, wasn't that in Captain Ron or one of the?
I think it was
Like
in
he-
Yellowbeard.
Was it in Yellow? So maybe that was Yellowbeard and he'd move his eye patch, but
It was Pew that kept moving it.
yeah,
He'd be on one side, and they'd give him a look, and then he'd switch it to the other side, and yeah, it was very funny. But then again, that was Marty Feldman, so I mean, you can't go wrong there.
Marty Feldman was a comic genius.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
was brilliant.
God.
Yeah, and then him doing a joke about his eyes. Oh my God, talk about hilarious.
damn your eyes, too late.
Yep, pretty much.
So just to be clear, Jingo, this is a tit for tat thing with O'Reilly here. We retrieve this chart book, this log book, for him, and he will put us on the trail. It's not that we need this logbook.
He
catch you,
needs
we're
this logbook.
He needs it, yes.
But he is he's basically a dock whip. He has a crew that works the docks, and he's pretty much the whole time you're sitting in there doing business with him, other people are coming in and handing him papers and asking him questions. He is truly a busy man. He can't just take off and go do this. Although he certainly seems like a kind of guy that is capable of doing something like this.
Well, I would like to. Are we still with him, or have we left?
At this point, we're going to say that you are still sitting in his office with him, having whiskey
Okay.
and cigars. Yes.
Because we're short a sailor, and none of us know this port. But he would obviously know people that would be a good match for our crew.
Give me a persuasion check. Let's see how well he's really liking you. He's already pretty friendly. A good roll might bring him. He says, I will put the feelers out. What is it you and your crew do? Are you privateers? Are you flying the black? You looking to do a bit of trade? I mean, you don't have a very big boat. People are going to want to know before I can enlist them. What are you about?
I think Alistair would sit back and look at both Bloodknock and Napes, and because he's not certain what they are at this point. You know, he still feels like he's a loyal English naval officer, but obviously England doesn't quite feel that way. So he looks confused. He doesn't know how to answer the question. We've fallen from the good graces of the Queen.
So, why don't you let me think about that? So, I'm going to take your non-answer as what you're doing is not entirely legal, but not entirely piracy either. So, at least I know the quality of people you're looking for. And then he will reach around to there's a shelf behind him that's got a lot of slots in it, you know, like mailbox slots, and he'll look through a bunch of scrolls and he'll pull one out and hand it to you. Tell you this marks where the edges of the reefs are. Most of them lie below the water, so it's hard to see. A very skilled captain might be able to get his boat in and out of those reefs without a chart, but um, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, well, most captains don't have a nape, so.
Most
Yeah.
captains don't have an apes, but so it's your choice. You can either go into the reefs in a rowboat or try to take your ship in there. Now, if you had the chart book, you could navigate the reefs without a roll, but the chart book is in there somewhere. Might even be in the wreck of the ship itself.
I've got faith in my napes. Yeah. Yeah, faith in my napes, which just really sounds odd, but
Sounds really odd, but
yes.
I think
but
we should take the
nonetheless.
rowboat. Why risk
Yeah.
the ship?
Well,
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
mean,
thinking.
oh yeah, and then it wouldn't advertise that we're, over there either.
All right, by this time it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. If you guys weighed anchor, you figure the other side of the island, you could be over there late afternoon, um, which might, once you navigate the reef, put you in there at dark. Is this what you want to do?
Mhm.
Do we really want to go into a haunted boat in the dark? It
Do you
seems
really
kind of
believe that?
counterproductive.
There's no such thing as ghosts, but
Yeah, sure there
there's
ain't.
no such thing as fishmen either, right?
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, and of course I forgot that Napes is hanging out outside, so she doesn't hear any of this. But
Make me a notice roll while you're out there, Napes.
yes, okay. Also my camera's working now, so
Okay,
it was having a
let me refresh it.
okay.
Alright.
Notice, that's what you wanted. Ooh. Yeah, I see a few things.
Oh, yes. You while you're there, you notice oh, there's a lady in a rather fancy green dress goes strolling down the docks, and you know, she's got the parasol, and all the men are whistling and catcalling the way men do, and while she appears to just be doing this to make a spectacle, um,
Mm-hmm.
you notice that from her large sun hat and parasol, she's kind of keeping an eye on. Let's see. Give me a second here. She's definitely watching the dock office and you guys, but
Ah.
she doesn't seem to have noticed that you noticed her. You
Ah.
got a high enough roll to notice that. Yeah, she hasn't noticed that you've noticed her, that you're onto her. But she strolls down the dock slowly and eventually heads off into town in the direction of the whorehouse.
Okay,
Surprise, surprise,
so
surprise.
if I remember correctly, the gentleman, our extra dude, is out there with us. If I can remember his name.
The guy that we brought from England.
Yes.
Lieutenant Jeffers.
Jeffers.
Yes.
Jeffers, yeah, he's out there with us, so I would very nonchalantly, kind of give him the eye or make him aware of her presence, and whisper to him, "She looks like one of them."
All right, hold on. I'm still trying to get your camera to cooperate on my end. For whatever reason, it does not want to.
I did it the right order.
Yeah,
Aha! I have ocean sounds. Yay!
okay, well,
At least
he
that's
was,
working.
you know, he was entranced by the lady, and he's what? What? Oh, yeah. Oh, he was completely distracted, and to the point where he didn't even hear what you said.
Yep. So I just kind of, look at him and just kind of roll my eyes and be like, "Men." Actually, she'd probably more likely say boys.
All right.
All right. So at that moment, did she seem to be very interested in what was going on within, like, did it seem like she could see what was going on inside
It
the...
looks like no. It just looked like she walked by the dock and was keeping an eye on the building and on you. She definitely saw you, but you're pretty
Right.
sure she didn't know that you
That I
recognized who
I
and what
recognized
she
who...
was. Yes,
Yeah.
she
Okay.
was one of the ladies that attacked you, or part of that same group.
Right. She wasn't exactly one of the ladies that attacked
She
me,
wasn't
'cause...
one of the ones that attacked you, but she is
Yep.
He's one of
she's
Lord
dressed like the other
Fuckers.
ladies at the red lighthouse. Yes.
Okay.
She's one of Lord Fucker's entourage or network of spies, I guess.
Yeah.
Lord.
Keeping
Then
track of us.
at that moment, then I would go down onto the ship, and I don't know if the doors, because I know they're inside, right? You guys are inside?
Yeah, they're inside. They're in an office, but there's like an open window. If you went and leaned against the windowsill, you could say something to them.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll go and do that, and I'll say, Captain, there's a person that took a look similar to the ones that I ran into earlier.
Oh, like Stitch's girlfriends.
Mm-hmm. And my girlfriends.
At
really
that,
made an
No.
O'Reilly will perk up and say, "Oh, I heard about that. That was your handiwork, was it?"
Maybe.
Nasty bit of work.
The
I'm
real
good at my
question is
craft.
who sicked them on us? Like a pack of dogs.
Lord Trevor.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
who do you
Yeah, he
think?
knew we were...
It's Lord Trevor. Lord
Tre-
Fuck here.
Trevor's not a man that one would cross lightly. Thus, um, me and the tit for tat, because I'm sure that by helping you out at some point, I will have to deal with him as well.
Well, we hope to eliminate that threat for you.
Be careful. He seems to have eyes and ears everywhere, and it is rumored that he can be in two places at once, or something to that effect.
You have a twin?
Not that anybody is aware of.
curiouser and curiouser.
I will take a common knowledge check from any of you that would care to make one.
Oh, how about that? I have one, but it's
Yeah, I'm not all that great at it, but
I don't know. I just got I rolled a 19.
Holy shit!
holy crap!
So did I.
Alistair, while you were laying low over the winter, you did some digging into Lord Trevor. He is an only child. His parents, as far as you know, are still alive, but very elderly and under care. He is vastly wealthy, and he used to be very religious, but in the past few years has kind of foregone his faith.
So when
But
she
as
mentioned something about a twin,
yeah,
or
yeah,
I'd
know
say
for
no.
certain that there's no way he could have gone through his, because he's somewhat of a public figure. He makes the circles. He gets talked about from time to time. He's a known quantity in the upper social circles, and there's no way, no way there could be a twin. That would have to have been a ruse, set up by his parents from birth to hide the fact that there was a twin. There's just no way that could happen. It's got to be another explanation, lies, subterfuge, whatever. There's got to be another explanation. Somebody else that looks like him maybe, but you're pretty sure he doesn't have a twin. Not with a role like that.
I think Alistair would look at Patrick O'Reilly and say, I've heard many stories about the Caribbean over here. Like magic and things that the natives of the islands, these little things that they do involving chickens and whatnot. Could he have had a bruja? Cast some spell of duplication on him?
Or maybe he knows a master of disguise, or maybe he has a way to rapidly move from one. If you're adding supernatural into it, there's no telling, what it might be.
Well,
The
Yeah.
most
if
likely
O'Reilly said it,
explanation is that he's got himself a double.
well, that would be logical, but I've
Yeah,
got to
that's why I was
say,
asking if he had a twin.
a lot of logic went out the portal the porthole when we came over. Did it not, Mr. Bloodknot?
It did.
It did. The fish man? What the hell?
Oh,
Fishman. I've heard many stories. I'd rather see a mermaid, but that's.
Oh, mermaids are no good. They're only good from the waist up.
racist. No, sorry.
Oh,
You have to settle for face. Is that what you're saying?
well, yeah, that worked.
Try again, Jingo.
Hold on.
I redid it, and maybe I need a fresh
I'm
link.
making you a fresh link right now. We're just gonna
Okay.
end around on that nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Sirenscape's working. Yay.
Try that link that I just sent you directly through Discord.
Okay.
And now I've lost Alistair.
Alistair's here. in the
Okay, you just
No.
down for a second.
I'm having my breakfast.
I hear you. I had a banana and a cup of coffee for breakfast.
I haven't had any coffee yet,
All right.
but I have
All
had cereal, so I've had breakfast.
Anyways, there you are.
There we go. Okay.
Perfect. All right. So he's told you what he wants from you and why he wants it. Like I said, it's about 10:30ish. By the time you guys wrap up, if you leave now, you'll get there around dark, or you can wait until tomorrow morning, leave at dawn, and have a good portion of the day to explore. This is all entirely up to you.
I don't necessarily relish the thought of sticking around in this port with eyes on us through the night.
Yeah, I think we should head out there and then just not go in there at dark. Wait until the next morning. We'll drop anchor offshore,
Right.
and then we'll get in the jolly boats in the morning and head out to the.
Alistair will
Good.
kind of stand up, walk back over this window, and look out and say, Napes,
Hmm.
maybe get the crew prepared to move, but do it.
So it
Do
doesn't
it.
look like we're preparing to move.
Yeah, because when we pull out of this port, we want to do it rapidly. We don't want to give someone else a chance to, you know, be prepared to follow us out.
Hi, Captain. All right. And I'll go over and I will whisper to oh my
Lieutenant
gosh.
Jeffers.
Jeffers, there we go. Why do I not have his name in here, or do I?
My choir
Alright.
teacher in high school was Mr. Jess, now Dr. Jess. He's still a very good friend of mine. Builds resonator
Easy.
guitars. Wonderful.
There you
man.
go. Okay. I say I'll whisper to Lieutenant Jeffers that that's what we're doing, and I'll say I'll head back to the ship if you want to wait. Keep an eye
Yep,
for them.
he'll stay here.
Okay. And I will just kind of, with purpose, but sort of, la 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 la, head back to the ship.
All right. How are you getting to it? Are you taking a rowboat or are you swimming? Because if you remember, you guys aren't docked at a dock. Your ship's anchored out in the harbor.
Right.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
it's a shallow
see
water
if-
harbor. There's not anything in it dangerous to swim. If you want to do that, it would be less obvious than rowboating out there.
True. And she'll go and stick a couple toes in the water and be like, "Ooh, that's warm. That's much better than
It
where
is
she's
very
from."
warm water. It's like
Just
bath
like-
water.
Okay. And she'll dive in real quick or jump in or whatever.
Alright.
She can swim, just it's not great, but not a whole lot of swimming up in Iceland.
All right, make me an athletics check and a notice check.
Okay. There is ugh.
That's basic. You didn't, get
I
caught
didn't fully
get
fumble.
get caught in any kelp or get run over by a boat or
Right.
any nonsense. And
There we go.
ooh, you do notice that there is a lot of shellfish life on the bottom of this bay. Crabs and, oysters and such. And some
Ooh.
of the crabs are actually quite large, so you probably wouldn't want to get um, down close to them because
No. I mean, she's
that
gonna
many
be
crabs could be a problem.
right. And although I might, you know, grab a couple of oysters on my way, because you never know.
Do you want to swim down there? They're like nestled in the sand among the crabs crawling around.
Ah. Um. What have I got on me? That's not what I want. I want that. Where's it? Oh, there it is.
Okay, you do have lock picking slash thievery.
Oh, yes, I do. Um. Yeah, all I've got
If you
with
want to
me
make a
is
sleight of hand, you could maybe pluck one of them oysters out of the bed without getting caught up in the
I would like
crabs.
to try and do that.
All
Yes.
right.
So is that under stealth?
That is under your lock picking, which is actually thievery.
Ah,
All thiefy things are going to be under that skill.
got it. All right. Ah, really? I'd like to Benny that, please.
All right. You weren't able to get one, but the crabs didn't get you.
Okay.
So
I'll
you
try
could
one
just
more.
try again if you want.
Ah, okay. All right.
All right. Nope. Every time you reach your hand down there, the crabs start scuttling towards you.
Um, can I?
You can keep trying if you want, but
I'll try.
you're
I'll
going to
try
run out
one.
of air soon.
Yep, I'm gonna try one more time.
All right. You managed to reach down there. Roll me a D3.
Okay. That's the.
Right click on a
Yep.
D6 and then custom dice D3 to be in there.
Whoops. Not that. Not 3d6.
Oh, yes. Let me refresh all of that. You guys are going to get fresh bennies and fresh adventure cards.
There we go.
There.
Got one.
And look at your cards and
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
Nice.
anyways, you manage to grab one oyster and then you swim back to the boat and you tell the crew to get ready. At this point, they're all back at the boat, are they not?
Okay.
You didn't
They should
have
be,
any
yeah.
of them spend the night ashore?
Mm-mm.
And as typical for my
I see.
internet provider, right on time, here comes the frame drop. Up,
Oh no.
and then it's done. It was only for a second, but it happens right around 9:30 every day.
Which is weird. It's almost like your
Yeah, I
entire
think it's when the neighbor
area
starts downloading porn or something. I don't know. Um,
He's got a torrent running. He's downloading this week's episode of Boba Fett.
yeah, I
Oh my
guess.
god,
I
that was
don't know.
so good.
Anyways, okay, you can make it back. Now, roll
Right.
me a d12.
Right
It did
smack
not
dab in the
have a
middle.
pearl in it.
Darn. That's all right. I just, take it and down the gullet. Flip the shell over the side and
Yeah, I'm still dropping frames.
ooh.
Hopefully it'll stabilize. It usually does. Meanwhile, those of you back at the dock, Stitch, Captain, what would you like to do?
Stitch.
I
I
know
think we've
we.
decided we're going to pull out of here, but yet we really need to do the best we can to create the ruse that we're going to stay in port overnight, and then slip out with enough daylight left. That's not really going to work. It's too soon to. If
Yeah,
we did it
there's
right at dark, but then it makes sailing around these shallow, the leeward and windward islands are just surrounded by reefs everywhere.
yeah, and I don't know how much experience Alistair has had in the Caribbean.
None.
Yeah, so you don't really know these waters. Atomic
Right.
Hero Squad, our matey. Good morning.
Well, we'll make a run for. Um, but maybe buy some time if we could get to the ship without being seen.
I will say
Well,
that it is a pretty busy harbor. It's not like yours would be the only boat out there. Um, there's traffic all over the water out there. So now you might be able to slide out of here without being seen.
I don't see it happening. What do you think, Mr. Bloodknock?
I think if we're sneaky, I think we can get back on the ship without causing too much, too much of a kerfuffle.
And Jeffers will say, leaning in, because he's like leaning at the window, just kind of, somewhat overhearing. He's like, seems to me you blokes could use a distraction.
That'd be fantastic. What do you have in mind?
I don't know yet. But, if people's attention was elsewhere, we could slide out.
Those the street rats, the kids. Maybe we
Yeah,
could get them to do something.
wharf rats. Yeah.
Yep.
That is an idea.
What do you think, Alistair?
That'd be fine if we sat here in the office and Mr. O'Reilly might have someone who could go over and talk to him for us.
Yeah, he's got page boys and girls that
Lackeys.
lackeys. Yeah, I said he's the dock whip. He's got things going on here.
He's
Yeah,
got
Alistair.
people.
Alistair flips another gold coin out there. Boy, this is getting expensive. He's down 10 gold already since coming in this port.
Uh,
And he didn't even go
did he
with.
say something out loud about this is getting expensive?
No, 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 no. He's just thinking that. Damn, this is getting. I don't know. He might have mumbled. This is getting expensive.
If you did, um, O'Reilly will lean forward and say, "It is a pirate fort. There's likely to be loot there as well. That's not that's not of interest to me. So let me throw in that anything else you find out there is yours to keep."
Now, how do you
There you
suppose you're gonna fund a revolutionary movement like you've been speaking of without gold?
Who says I'm without gold?
You have a good point. He kind of looks around. I'd imagine
The
this just
office
looks like.
doesn't look particularly fancy, but and he doesn't look particularly fancy either. But you kind of get the idea that maybe that's more deliberate. He plucked the peacock feathers so that he won't draw attention to himself.
uh, yeah. So if he calls a page in, then Alistair will hand the page a coin and say, this tends to convince little wharf rats to be cooperative, and just tell them who sent you over, and hopefully Hopefully their loyalties remain.
I would imagine so. You paid them enough money last week,
All
last
right.
to think
The-
about
The
shit.
kid will go off, and about 10 minutes later, he'll come back with Sly, and she'll smile and say, "What can I do for you, Captain?"
Sly, we need a distraction. Mr. Bloodknock and myself need to get back to that ship without those nosy ladies of the evening seeing us. You think you could, draw everyone's eye away from the harbor for a moment?
She's like, "I know just the thing," and she kind of glances over her shoulder back into town. "Make me a notice check, Stitch and Alistair." Stitch, she glances over her shoulder, and you can see the skyline of the town back there, and she looks directly at the bell tower of the church, and she smiles mischievously and says, "I got it," and slips off into the crowd.
I think we should get ready because I think this distraction is going to happen sooner than later.
They move pretty quick, don't they?
Yeah.
Mr. O'Reilly, do you have a jolly boat you can get us? He's kind of Alistair's looking out this window at the pier next to him to see
Oh
if there's
yeah,
any.
he's got a number of boats right there. He's like, "Take one of those."
Is our rowboat still here, or
Actually, yeah, your rowboat would probably be right there as you guys came
Is it
in.
right there? Okay.
It's probably nearby, yeah.
And we probably only have one on our little
You only
sloop.
have one. If you guys had to, you could all jam into it as a crew, but that would only be for the purpose of getting to land as quickly as possible. It wouldn't be comfortable, but it is a big enough lifeboat to serve your crew.
Well, we will not waste time hoisting her back aboard the ship, the John A. We will simply tie it off, tow it out past the harbor, and when we're out of eye shot, we'll stop long enough to, or maybe we'll, it's not that heavy. We could pull it in as we're moving.
oh yeah, that's what I mean, we'll have the whole crew on.
Right.
You got me.
standby
I'm
for
nice and
whatever.
strong.
And as a game master, I would like to point out that while you guys are down a crew member, Lieutenant Jeffers is more than capable of filling that role on your crew,
Awesome.
putting you at the correct number of people,
Well, we do. It's important that we get the
or
right
at the
person for the
maximum
job.
number of people.
Right.
Yeah, because we only need
Right.
3 to sail the ship.
Right. But having that right, we can't. There are too many people with their eyes on us in this port, and if Mr. O'Reilly knows the right person for the job, then we'll give him the time to get it. We'll go ahead and go take care of this. We're coming back here anyway. Mr. Jeffers can just fill in as needed, but hopefully we won't need a full crew. No storms, anything like that.
Yeah, most of the time you don't. Yeah, most of the time it's just a matter of having people on hand so that, if a course correction needs to be made, you need to have somebody at the wheel and, somebody working the sails and et cetera, et cetera.
Right. All right.
But, and I didn't have my bell sound effect up. About 5 minutes later, on the middle of a Tuesday morning, the church bell starts ringing like mad. Clang, 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 clang. And because this is not the time of day, I mean, It's a Protestant church, so I imagine they only ring the church bell on Sunday mornings. And so
Sounds
for it
about
to be
right.
ringing now, pretty much everybody in town stops and turns to look towards the bell. At which point you guys hustle into your boat and start rowing. What I want is give me a stealth check or an athletics check.
Mm.
Stealth check to try to be slippery, or an athletics check to try to go faster.
Uh,
I don't
let's
know. Oh,
try
you still
rowing.
have a joker bonus. I mean that you should not.
No,
Um,
you got to clear the combat tracker.
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna Benny that. Good shit.
Wow.
All right.
We're going to a haunted fort. I really don't want to burn through all my bennies right now.
All right. So you guys get back to the boat. You're not certain if you were seen.
Um, I got in there. I'm gonna the minute I hear the bell, because it's gonna echo over the water. Um,
Oh
I
yeah, it can
am.
be heard everywhere.
Yep. I'm up in the crow's nest with my spyglass, looking to see what's going on and looking for them. So,
The neighbor must be done downloading his Saturday morning porn. 3,100 frames. That's where it stops just about every time.
Huh.
And it's about the same time every day, and then it just does it, and then it stops, and then it's never a problem again. It's just
weird.
it's a downside of working or living in a multi-housing unit. You don't have your own dedicated internet line, and you have to share it with mooks.
You all have to have the same internet provider?
Um,
There's only one choice in town anyway.
there's only one real choice in town.
Yeah.
There are other providers, but none
They
that will provide the level of internet I need to do this.
And cable
Gotcha.
one. Is that who you have?
No, we have
Fox.
Cox is our main cable provider, but CenturyLink or whatever US West Quest
Century State.
CenturyLink, yeah. Or if you live in some of the parts of town, I think there's Google Fiber or fiber optic stuff, but not here. I live in Tempe, the oldest town in the valley. All right. Let me remove that as well. Give me a second here. Delete MGC striker. All right, so you guys get back on board your boat. I'll take a boating check to see how fast you get underway.
Can we assist?
Absolutely.
All right, I'll assist.
Every success or
Oh,
raise
there
on
you
the
go.
assist is a +1, so that's a +2.
And
The
then,
sailors as a group can give me a boating check.
As a group.
Yeah,
So
just roll for one of them and it'll. Actually, we'll do this because you've got 5 sailors. We'll consider the sailors one automatic success, and so they'll add a +1.
Okay, so that looks like
+3,
+3.
yes.
+3. All right, then here's your boating roll.
Yeah. 18.
Then you
Lovely.
catch a perfect wind and some glass-like water, and you rocket out of the harbor and out onto the sea. Now, the easy way around the island would be to go to the south, but that is also where the traffic lanes are. Is that what you would like to do?
No, we're not quite ready to expose ourselves to everybody that might want our heads here.
Yep. And they don't want us exposing ourselves, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because Alistair's what? Close to 50 years old. Nobody wants to see that shit.
But bump.
All right. So you all head north. I don't have a map of Barbados ready, but it does not matter.
Doesn't matter.
As you head north, I'll take notice checks from everybody. Napes, you can have all your bonuses on this because you're back
All
where you
right.
belong in the crow's nest.
All right. Not my best roll ever, but that works.
All right, you notice that, let's see, the winds in the Caribbean blow to the west, so this would be the windward side of the island. You notice that on the windward side of the island, the water is fairly clear and smooth sailing. Um, a lot of the island is uninhabited, and you can see the occasional, gator on the beach, and you know other
Oh,
things on shore. Um,
we got salties down here. Yay. Yeah, she'll see that and be like, I don't know what that is, but it doesn't look right.
yeah, this
They don't have gators up there.
looks like a big lizard, gators or something like that.
Yep.
And you come around the north end of the island. Alistair, roll me a D8 and a D12 and add them together.
A D8 and a D12.
All right. Other than a few fishing boats, you see, nothing um, on your way around. You come around the north and you catch the westward wind, and I'll have another boating check as you consult the charts.
I'd also like to, make sure that I'm keeping an eye on our tail too, to make sure we're not being tailed.
Yeah, no, there is nothing behind you. Your notice check would have spotted a ship following you.
Okay.
Most ships are bigger than you, and they can see you can see them farther away than they can see you. So for them to be close enough to follow you, that you would see them. All right, you guys see the as you come around the leeward side of the island, can see the reefs in the distance, and as the you know the water rises and falls, you can see the reef is vast. It stretches for miles, and out in the middle of it, you can see a small island, and it a couple of miles in, it looks like a small keep. Um, and
Do we see the wreckage of a boat?
yes, you can see to the south of the keep. To the south of the keep, you can see, yes, the wreckage of a boat. You can see the mainmast, and part of a sail, and a partially part of a crow's nest. You can't really tell, but these are the things that you guys are taking turns looking at through the spyglass, because you're still about a mile out, maybe a mile and a half out on the water, and you can see from where you're at, you can see that the reef is definitely treacherous, and trying to sail your big boat in there would be impossible without a chart. You see now that trying to take your boat in there would have been folly, and given the turbulence on this side of the island, even the rowboat is not going to be without its dangers trying to cross the reef, get in there. Next question is, who's going and who's staying?
Are we getting close to evening?
Oh no, you guys, your boating check out of the harbor, you guys had major. Um, it's probably only about noon right now. You guys made
Oh,
incredible time.
okay.
Sweet.
Thanks to that roll of an 18. Oh yes. We're like, phew.
I'll ask Lieutenant Jeffers if he's interested in joining us. The rest of the sailors, I think we'd keep on the ship with the ship ready to, and
Yeah,
give
the
them
sailors
instructions that
honestly want nothing to do with it.
right. But would they run? Because this is a fast little ship, maybe not comparatively speaking to the Warspite, but if anyone begins to approach the ship, have her prepared to run, and then if we see them gone, we can not expect them to come back and get us. If not, we get a little rowboat, and we could eventually make it back to Barbados, maybe.
Jeffers says, seeing as there's no such thing as ghosts, I have no problem going in there with you.
And
I'll go.
I might hear the ghost thing, and I say, "What ghosts? What ghosts? Where we're going in there?"
No such thing as ghosts.
Don't worry about it, Napes.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna run into my why do I want to keep calling it a sling? It's not a sling.
The hammock.
Hammock.
It
Thank
is
you.
a sling.
It is basically. It's a really giant sling. To my hammock, and I'm gonna grab my little. I'm grabbing, stuff, but I'm gonna go in there and find a spot on a table or the floor or whatever, and I'm gonna roll my runes.
Make me a spirit check.
All right.
I know that this doesn't have any real world effect, but I like having fun with it.
Kind of
Uh,
looking for is this gonna be a good thing or
I'm going to go with the very cliche with great risk comes great reward.
uh,
Uh,
I'm surprised you didn't go with a roll like that. Try again later.
I yeah, I know, right? You know what I need to do
Like
is
the
I need
magic
to
8 ball.
find.
I
I
haven't
have
got the 8 ball connected up yet on the stream, but I do have a magic 8 ball. I just haven't
do
edited
too.
my own answers for it yet.
Oh, that's funny.
I actually have an actual magic 8 ball. I'm not really sure if all the liquid is still, in it, but it's an original from like a bazillion years ago. And
Probably because it uses that's not water in there.
no, it's
Water
like a
molds. It's a hydraulic fluid, basically.
yeah,
It's a non-toxic hydraulic fluid. It's
but it
oily and
might be in
slick,
one of the
and it
boxes that
won't
I
mold
haven't
either, and it won't
opened.
evaporate.
No, but it might be in one of the boxes that I haven't opened in a really long time, so it might. Hopefully, it hasn't like cracked and leaked out, which would be gross. But yeah,
Speaking of gross, you remember slime?
Yes.
oh yeah.
When I was a
yeah.
kid, I had a can of slime open up in my toy box and get all over everything. And
Ooh,
the smell of it was just so awful that for like the entire summer I didn't open my toy box and get anything out of it because the smell was so bad.
oh my gosh.
I-
No, I used to the slime used to would make my ex gag. So I used to take great delight in bringing it out every once in a while.
uh, two slime stories. Number one, my grandkids make the stuff out of Elmer's glue and something else.
Oh yeah, it's a very
Yeah, you
simple.
can.
It's a very simple process.
I
And
think
the
you can make
other,
it with something other than glue, but I can't remember what it is.
maybe I've never tried to make it. Even as a
Elmer's glue
kid.
is basically carrot, and it's basically the same thing Jello's made out of.
Really?
Well,
So
Yes.
it's
Jello is basically carrot and is rendered horse hoof as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and
The other story was if you took slime out of its little trash can and went out in the we got a lot of gravel roads in my part of the I grew up on one, and you rolled it around in the gravel road, it ended up picking that dirt up, and you could throw it on your mom's carpet and it looked like dog diarrhea. And
I remember one time when we were delinquents. One of our neighbors.
When?
Yes,
you were?
one time when I was a delinquent. Yes, one of our neighbors made me and my brother angry, and this was a weekend. And when my parents were off on a weekend fishing trip and left me 14 and my brother 12 home alone for the weekend, and we got out the blender and we put some lemon and some eggs and some lunch meat and some ping pong balls and just whatever we could fit in a blender and blended it all up to where it looked like puke and poured it on his car in the middle of the night.
Oh.
And the lemon juice in it left a permanent stain. We were assholes.
No.
We didn't know it was going to permanently fuck up his car, but fuck that guy.
Yeah. Well, there was somebody we didn't like, and we, crazy glued his locks to get into his car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he was.
kids are fuckers. When you're a kid,
Well,
you don't
no,
really
see, this was
realize just how much
retaliation.
damage you're causing with your shenanigans.
I know, but this was retaliation, and he was a real Richard. If you catch
real
my meaning.
Richard Cranium.
Yes. Oh, I like that cranium. I hadn't heard that one before, so there we go.
All right. So you
Okay.
guys are docked there. Occasional seagull flies by. You got the sun and the salt. You're living the life, and you can see that. Basically from here, it just looks like a little spot out on the reef, but you can see the outlines of a small keep. It's basically sitting on this little knob of rock right out in the reef.
So it's not really an island covered in palms and palmettos, and it's a
No,
very
no.
small rock.
It is a rock, yeah, with a keep on it, out in
Rock
the middle.
fortress.
Let me pull this up.
I certainly don't like this. We're like a big target out here in this water.
All right, let me cut some of the mask off of this so you guys can.
Can you push that out?
I need to cut the mask first.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you had already done that, so never mind.
So
Carry
you
on.
still even in Unity, use the mask too. They all gave me a hard time about that in my game the other day. This is Unity. Why are you using a mask? Well, sometimes it still works better for what I want to do.
Yeah, pretty much is where I'm at. For me, honestly, it's just straight up laziness.
Yeah. Didn't want to put the line of sight and stuff in there.
Didn't want to bother learning how it all worked. Let me share that with you. I don't know how much of it you can see.
Nothing right now.
Yep.
Well, it's
okay,
probably
because I don't have your tokens on the map. So let me hold on. That's right. I need to fix that. Let's see. Visible to all. So yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna have to add you guys back to the combat tracker.
Spencer asks, "Is this a modular homebrew?"
This
I
is
think it's a combination.
actually all homebrew. The map is part of my purchased map pack from Dramascape. Um, but here, even though you guys aren't actually on this map, I'll put you on there so that you can get an idea of, what it looks
It's so
like.
very dark. It's very
Yeah, it's
dark.
still all black, Jingo. I don't know.
Huh, what the hell?
I can see like the three of us, but it's
Mhm.
very black.
all right,
Maybe we
what
just
am
need
I
to
not doing
resend
here?
it.
Hold on, I need to
Do you need to?
figure out what I'm doing here. Lighting.
There we go.
Aha! There we are.
Okay,
Oh,
I just
yeah.
had to find the right switch.
Ha.
But there we go.
How tall are these seawalls here, left and right?
Um, it looks to be like a 2 or 3 story building. So, climbing up on that wall, 20, 25 feet maybe.
Okay.
And the whole thing, from here it's hard to tell what kind of repair it's in, but it's certainly not new. But yeah, just out, basically, what it looks like, well, you can't really tell, but it looks like maybe the channel into it with a larger boat would come in from the south because the wreckage is somewhat to the south of it. It would be out actually out that way, the wreckage. Did they change the way pointers look?
Discord's went kind of janky for me. It says I've got a good connection, but you went real robotic. Jingo. You're back now?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's the internet again. I dropped frames.
Oh no.
It said it's Saturday morning in a large apartment complex. Everybody's on the internet. What can you do?
Yeah. Well,
We
and since
can
everybody
game.
is like, you know, streams everything now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So he just said it
And
hiccuped
then
for
I'm
him a little bit.
wondering, I've got these, arcane powers. I've got a -2 on them right now, and I don't understand why I've got a -2 on those. I think it's because I should have made a note to myself.
This is the reason you have a -2 is that each arcane background has an associated skill. Right now, you do not have the associated skills, so you are unskilled with those powers. And so you get an unskilled check at a d4 -2 to activate them.
Mm.
And that's why they're at a d4 -2. They are unreliable until you practice with them.
I think this is probably a good place, and this, just for flavor of the story and for narrative. Alistair's not used any of this yet. But some weirdness going on in his head. He knows something's changed on the trip way up into the Arctic Circle. But
He
this
just
little
knows
place might.
sometimes when he gets angry, he's just
Yeah.
felt like his fist is just, could batter down a brick wall, or he's picked up a knife and felt like he could cut through steel with it
Oh, there you go.
occasionally. But he can't will it to come on at will. But there are a couple of times, when you probably, got angry at a drinking game and hit the table with your fist and broke the corner of it off and don't know how you did that. Maybe it was just a weak table or no.
Yeah,
You were arm wrestling with somebody, and he said something about your mom, and it made you mad, and you slammed his head so hard against the table you broke 3 bones in it. Things like that. And then you were so, you know, didn't realize, and, out of remorse, somehow, you know, undid the damage, and you don't know how you did that either, but, you know, maybe, one night when you were, or one morning you were shaving or something and cut yourself and you couldn't get it to stop bleeding, and then, it just did, and it didn't even leave a scar, and you don't know how that happened either. But
Wow.
weird things have been going on, and you can't explain them, and you really can't reliably control them yet.
Right. Okay.
Anyways, so Jeffers will go with if you want him to. That will put 4 of you in the boat.
Yes.
Sure.
All right. The 2 of you that are manning the oars. Actually, let me do this. Let me get Jeffers on the combat tracker as well.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Where do I shuffle the deck from? Oh, I shuffled the deck from tools. Reshuffle the deck. All right. It is going to take 5 rounds of action for you guys to reach the castle. Let's deal cards. Why did it not deal cards? Okay, deal cards. All right, Napes, you are up
Yeah.
first. I imagine you are a spotter as you guys
Yes.
navigate the
Yep. I'm at the
at the front.
bow, right? Yeah.
Yeah, at the bow. Um,
Bow.
then
There we go.
what I need from you is a notice
Bow.
check,
Bow.
but you also drew a club.
Oh no.
So make me that notice check.
Okay. Am I getting all the bonuses?
Any that would apply. You are in a boat.
Okay. Cool. Oops. Helps if I actually get into the right place there. There we go. Oops.
Ooh, okay. So what that's gonna do is Stitch and Alistair, I need voting rolls from you, or if you 2 are the ones working the oars, unless you want Jeffers to work one of the oars.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
Then Alistair, I'll take your boating roll. Her spot check, her notice, will give you a +2.
Oh,
Sweet.
always nice to have, especially when I roll like that.
All right, and Lieutenant Jeffers is just sitting in the back of the boat right now. And Stitch, give me a boating check. You also have a +2. All right. So you
6.
guys, as you're going in, you notice the water is getting choppier. It didn't seem like it was this rough when you were watching it from your boat, but it's kind of like rocking from side to side. It's almost as if the water itself is fighting you.
Hmm.
How about an occult roll to see if this is natural? If
Give
it
me
doesn't
one of
seem
those.
okay.
There you go.
No, something's not natural. And out of the south, you can see you know, clouds on the horizon, and actually not on the horizon. Clouds just seem to be starting to gather overhead, and the wind has picked up.
Oh, goody. We're going into Ghostbusters. All right.
Round two. Napes, make
Yes.
me a notice check unless you'd like to do something else.
Oh, I
You
did send
notice
you a
it in.
little message. A message. Not a
Okay,
message. A
you do
message.
notice that in the choppy water at times,
Mhm.
the water going up and down
Mhm.
exposes, bits of the reef. So you have to be careful now.
Okay. I will tell them to kind of slow it a little bit. And do I have some sort of like pole or something?
Well, wouldn't you have a sounding rope?
Yeah.
Sounding rope is
Or-
basically like a lead weight at the end of a rope, and you can test how deep the water is with it.
It's got
Ah!
knots in it.
Yeah.
It's got knots every foot.
Oh, okay. That's the how many knots or whatever. But yes, um, that's right. That's a multiple thing. Uh-oh. Okay. Here's my.
The music is
Do you hear that music?
I
Yeah.
know the music just changed, and I'm like
Spooky
"Ah,
music.
ah,
We're in trouble now, guys.
woo." Oops, I forgot my extra. So that's a +4. So that'd be a
Ooh,
12.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, so you managed
Impressive.
to keep them from avoiding any rocks. You did not draw a club this round, but somebody did. So every
Oh,
time you guys
no.
draw a club, things are gonna get worse.
Okay.
Lieutenant Jeffers, let's see. You know what? He doesn't even have boating. But what he does have,
Uh-oh.
and
Like man.
I know, right? I'm like, this is creepy.
he starts
Oh.
barking out orders. Do this, do that, do this, do that, do that. And it actually makes sense. And he actually is going to give you guys each a C with Napes' roll of a +2 and his knowledge of battle and how to, fight from a longboat because he's probably done that as a Marine. We'll give you another +1.
Nice.
And so it was actually handy
So
having him along.
Is the roll of a roll of 12, is that still just a +2?
Oh,
Or
that's
is
right. You
that
got a 12. That's going to be a +3.
But I have a club. Is that any negatives?
Not on your roll, no, but that just means
weird stuff happens,
conditions are
period?
going to get worse.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Yes.
a +3 from Napes and a +1 from Jeffers is
a 4.
4.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's put it in the modifier box.
Yeah, and
Much better.
Stitch, you can go ahead and make your roll as well on the other oar, also at a +4. All right. And really, we're only looking to make sure nobody gets a critical failure.
Yeah. Wow.
So you guys
Close.
manage to stay off the rocks, but the wind picks up and it's, causing white caps. At this point, continuing, you guys, between Alistair and Stitch on the oars, at least one of you will need to make a raise or you guys are going to be in some trouble. New round. Alistair and 2 more clubs.
Okay.
It's already gotten as bad as it can get. So at this point, clubs are on.
Okay. So
I'm
I
gonna
just
go
wanted
on.
to
I'm gonna
give.
go on hold.
There you go.
Okay.
Just wanted to give a quick shout out because my mom is watching from Knoxville, Tennessee. So
Hi,
everybody say
Mom.
hi to my mom. Somehow she was able to get on Twitch without my help. So yay.
Yay.
So,
All right, so Napes, continuing to spot, you guys can see the castle looming close. and the clouds have thickened to the point where it is gray now, and thunder starts to rumble.
Just my tummy.
As the water continues to get choppy in the spray, and the breeze even starts to get cold. Napes, make me that notice check.
Okay. Well, that's not the best ever, but
That's
there we
still
It's pretty impressive.
that's still a
Yeah.
+2.
excellent.
Stitch, would you like to go on hold and wait for Jeffers as well to see if he has anything to add?
Sure.
All right, you should be able to right-click yourself and put yourself on hold. I think that's how that works.
Actually, bottom right corner, there's a little, looks like circles and arrows going in a circle. Bottom right corner of the combat tracker, click that, put you on. They move that, Jingo.
Oh, okay, so that puts somebody on hold from the player side?
Yep.
From
Sure
the
enough.
Okay.
side, yes.
Wait a minute. Bottom right corner.
Bottom right
Basically,
corner of the combat tracker.
for the game master, that cycles to the next player.
Right.
For the player, I guess it puts you on hold if you just do that without taking your turn.
Now
Huh.
it disappears after you click it, so then you have to go up and right-click your action card and then request interrupt up there like you used to. So.
No, I don't have that.
All right,
option.
Lieutenant Jeffers and his experience in a longboat will give you a +1, so that's a total of +3. Now you guys can come off hold and yes.
We need to stop drawing clubs, man.
We got a 1 in 4 chance to not draw a club. But,
Well, yeah, but clubs
well,
is
with
bad.
a full deck.
I get a boat in with the +3.
Yes.
Yes. All right. And that is a raise. You guys scrape a couple of reefs and, shave off something, but
You hear Nape's
the water is really
mutter
rough
a few
and
things that sound like curses in Icelandic.
lightning starts to strike the water
Nobody
Oh,
touched the water.
as the storm is as full ripping now. And it's bouncing you around in the boat. Round 4, Alistair. Alistair, I need you to make me an athletics check. Anything but a critical failure and you guys stay in the boat.
Okay. Alistair will once again
Pax
go on
2000,
hold,
thank you for the sub, brother. Thank you very much.
waiting for instructions from Napes or Jeffers.
Okay. Jeffers, his
Oh, yeah,
voice
just roll
gets
it,
more frantic as he starts screaming orders at you guys. Do this, left, right. Just, he's like completely focused. He's in full Marine mode now.
Uh.
And he's going to give you guys a +2 on your boat in this round.
Sweet.
Stitch, you're going to go on hold as well. Napes, make that notice check.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me stop real quick.
Okay.
Lieutenant Jeffers needs to make an athletics check. He doesn't have athletics. Oh, he's an old school. All right, so We'll give him an agility check instead. Stitch, go ahead and make me an athletics check. If you get a critical failure, you fall out of the boat. All right, Napes, your turn.
Okay. So that would give me a +6 then? For my notice, or is that just for boating?
That's just for boating. Those are everything else is actually. You know what? His command will help you as well. It'll give you a +2.
Okay. Then +6 total it is.
Oh, all right. His command of
Yeah.
2 and your 3 is going to give everybody a +5. Stitch and
Woo!
Alistair, go ahead and make your boating rolls. All right. I don't know how to grant the interrupt. Okay.
Woo! Yeah! Oh my god!
Nice.
Johnny on the spot.
And
You're standing like Captain
Stitch!
Morgan on the boat.
all of a sudden, you know, reaches over and pushes down on Alistair's oar, and it comes up out of the water, and then he pulls hard on his own oar, and the boat kind of spins to the right, and it catches the side of this huge wave, and it washes you right over the top of the last reef. And as the wave comes down, the waters suddenly become calm, although the sky is still dark. And you can see the keep right there ahead of you. Stitch's roll was good enough to make you avoid the final round of navigating that.
Sweet.
All right, it's exactly halfway through the stream. We're going to take a 10-minute break.
Coffee.
Coffee,
Yep.
Food.
bladder relief, whatever you got. We'll be
Yeah, I
back
got to
in
get
10 minutes.
rid of some coffee to put more in.
Yeah, I rented some coffee and I got to go return it now. All right,
Well, that's
folks.
the thing with coffee, you only borrow it. You know,
Yep,
that's-
you only borrow it. Those of you out there watching, bear with us. We will be back in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Let me do this. And we are back. Are y'all back yet? I take that as a no. They are not.
Yes.
There's one.
I was chatting with Pax over here. I take it
Ah.
that's Pax that we rated the stream the other day.
Yes, that is PAX.
Yeah. I tried to grow my whiskers out kind of like Pax's, but
Mine don't. My hair on my head, as you can see, and the hair on my chin is curly. It would never grow straight like that. It would just go,
mine,
and I would
yeah,
have a chin fro.
mine is the same. It's really curly, but my son-in-law said, "No, here you get this little round brush, and you get a blow dryer and you pull it." Well, it got down to about here, if you guys remember, a couple months ago, and it didn't matter. A little humidity and the whole trying to straighten your hair thing in your beard goes out the window, and it looks like, you know.
I don't know if you can see that. This is what I use on. This is what I use on my beard. King C Gillette beard cream. It makes it all soft, and it makes Mama Cat not push me away when I rub my whiskers on her.
I use Everyman Jack sandalwood beard butter.
Yeah, he's got a. It is a thing. The one I just, you know, I have coworkers that have the. I don't know what you call it, the caveman look. Just that's not for me. If I'm gonna have face hair, it's gonna be contained.
Yeah, I'd like to have just kind of like Alistair's portrait, the the Highlander Scots, the braided beard pieces. But they say that will cause your facial hair to break by if you do it all the time. Basically, if you're going to do that, it's close to dreads. So you braid it and that's it. You leave it. You don't unbraid it. You wash it
I
braided.
think what I
That's
would
yeah.
do, something like that, is you could probably get away with a weave. Just grow a
Yeah.
short beard and then have,
Put those in there.
because there are professionals out there, hair care professionals that could do you a beard weave that people couldn't tell wasn't real. Absolutely. In
Yeah.
fact, I'm certain that there are people out there now that have beard weaves walking around.
That's a mighty
Funny.
strange world we live in.
Hey, it is what it is. You can
Could they do
really
a
be who you
weave on
want to
that?
be in this day and age.
I think you've got to have something to be woven to, don't you?
Yeah, no, you'd have to just straight up go with a wig. But they make wigs so realistic that you can't tell either.
You know what? I shaved my head when I was 28 before I started actually losing my hair.
Mine
And
is, as you can see, it's thinnish up in here. It's yeah, I got a 5 head, but I still got my hair.
yeah, still got that hair.
A little bit.
Much more than me. I've got a little bit in the back.
All right, well let's switch over to the chart room so the audience can see what we're seeing.
Awesome.
I has hair, but I put it under this thing so I can stop
Be a
getting.
pirate.
Well, that too.
I
It
have
just
a
happens
I
to
have a
be a
pirate
piratey one.
I have a piratey hair cloth as well that I could break out if I wanted. Of course,
But
Lieutenant Jeffers has to be extra. His token is round.
My dad was laughing at me because in the summertime, especially when I was boating, if you boat with a cap on, you're probably going to lose a lot of caps. Right. So a long time ago, when I was living in Florida, I just got to wearing bandanas,
Yep.
and to me, sunglasses and bandanas are better than a cap. And so my dad, I come back here and we get a boat together to go run the national scenic rivers down here, a little jet boat, and the first day I come over to pick him up, I got this on, and he's like, "Well, didn't know you was wearing a do rag," and I said, "I'm not." Well, what's that? I said, "Dad, you got to have a do to have a rag. This is a skull cap."
Yeah, no shit.
yeah, no, my hair likes to get caught up in the headphones, so I generally wear this whenever I'm playing. But it's actually like it's a stretchy material, so it's kind of like those like the Survivor buffs kind of a thing, but
Yeah.
it's pirate themed.
I
When
only ever wear a head covering when my hair gets too long. Because like that, I can like roll out of bed, tie a bandana over my head, and be done with it.
Yeah, I have permanent bed head, so when I get out of bed in the morning, the first thing I have to do is either cover my head or wash the hair because otherwise it will not be told what to do.
Yep.
I have a bad hair life. Oh, I can see I'm not gonna have cameras over here. I see how it is. All right,
Uh-oh.
so give me a moment to refresh those links. 'Cause I got it all saved. Let's see. Let's see, a little bit of this.
Paul, who did the leather tooling on that
Oh,
tabard that you got for
I
the vest?
bought it out of fair.
Oh,
Pendragon Leather is the name of the company that puts them out,
That's nice.
and they do some really nice like Renaissance type.
right.
And the beauty of those things is one size fits all because they lace at the side, and the sleeves come on and off.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, if I've gained a bunch of weight since I bought that, it still fits, which is just as well really because it cost me a lot of money.
Well, yeah. In Ren Fairs, you're gonna get, it's a lot
Well,
of money, but then you can get cool stuff like that. Whereas
I know the
SCA
guys that
stuff
made
is
it.
a little less expensive, but
Well, again, I know the guys that I worked in a booth for 7 or 8 years, so I
right.
knew all the boothies around me, and that booth was pretty close to us. I knew the guy that ran it, and he's a cool guy, Jim. But he
There
gave
we
me
go. We got
a good
everybody
break.
back. All right, so you guys stand, and I couldn't find any pirate shanty music that really worked here, so we'll just have to go without it. But as you guys pull your longboat and step up onto the wooden dock, you can see a large oak and brass single door arched at the top, maybe 15 feet high. Hanging from the wall to the right of the door is a chain that comes out of a slot higher up in the wall. As you
Like a
guys
bell?
are standing here, you can hear what sounds like faint singing, pirates singing a sea shanty.
Hair standing up on my
Come,
arms.
all you young sailors, what follow the sea, with a way, hey, blow the man down.
Oh, Capstan
Pray pay
Shanty.
attention and listen to me. Give me some time to blow the man down. And that's a big baritone voice you hear singing that, and then a crowd of voices takes up, and you can hear a chorus of voices singing this song, and it sounds like tin cups banging on tables, and this doesn't sound like an unoccupied keep, although the sky overhead is dark and gray and the clouds are kind of roily, and every now and then in the distance you'll see a flash of heat lightning among the clouds. And I'll take a notice check from everybody.
Yeah, I run over and I'm hiding behind Alistair.
Nope. I noticed my hand that I'm holding up in front of my face, but that's about as
Oh
far as
yeah,
it
I'm
goes.
seeing some stuff.
Come on, Napes. You don't believe in the ghost thing, do you?
Have you ever been to Iceland? Ghosts so many there.
Nope.
Too freaking
Alice,
cold.
when Alistair says that, he's actually trying to hide the maybe a tinge of fear in his eye.
And yeah, okay, Napes, you look out over the water and you can, over, I'd say, probably about 300 yards from here out in the reef, you can see the mast from the shipwreck, and there's a pale green glow coming from the water over that way. And Alistair, you notice, you see Napes looking in that direction, and
Yeah.
you follow her gaze and you see it too.
Yeah, and she, the eyes kind of saucers.
Yeah. Same.
That's not normal in a
Oh,
shipwreck.
now would be a good time to mention that the horror companion for Savage Worlds has sanity rules. I'm considering playing with them, but I haven't made a decision on that yet.
I'm good with whatever, Jingo.
I-
Whatever
I-
flavors it up.
I think that would be an added level that just
Fuckery.
I don't want. It's an added. Well, there's gonna be plenty of fuckery. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah,
it's
I'm
just
sure.
more of it.
Yeah, okay, bring it on.
All right, but you see a glow out in that direction, and it's just
Yeah, I'm just
kind of
kinda
a faint
standing-
glow. But
I'm just kind of like, hanging on to like your shirt or something on either side, not really pulling it on anything, but it's just something to kind of like almost like ground me kind of a thing. And I'm halfway between looking at the the keep and looking at the green thing and looking at the keep and looking at the green thing and wondering, yeah, neither one's better.
I'm going to mutter something about sissy girls under my breath. And is there a door there?
there's a big door there, but there doesn't appear to be a way to open it. Although, like I said, there's a chain that comes out from a slot about 10 feet up and dangles to about 4 feet off the deck, and it's as you go up the steps to the door, you can you could reach out and pull that chain if you like, although it's kind of rusty and slimy.
Go ahead and ring the bell.
Yeah, I'd rather have a listen at the door first.
All right,
Uh,
as I said, you hear pirates singing. It's what it sounds like to you. Singing and banging their cups and stomping their peg legs on the cobblestones, and sounds like a pirate party. Actually,
Hey, Napes, do you think you can shimmy over this wall?
I look at him and be like, maybe if there weren't ghosts waiting on the other side.
the walls is
Actually, she
about
would say spirits.
20, 25
Spirits.
feet right here. You could tell as you were rowing up that the sea towers had murder slits in them, but none overlooked the porch here.
Okay.
All right.
And I say, well, is the door unlocked?
You don't see a lock or a handle. Like I said, it's just a very large brass door.
Where are
It
the
looks
hinges?
like you can't see the hinges from this side. You would assume that they were on the other side.
Okay.
So it should push open then, I would think.
Why, it may be a portcullis.
Alistair,
Make me a
primes
notice
his
check.
pistol.
Make me a notice check.
Well, did
Stitch.
you say something
Stitch
about a?
specifically because he's up there looking over the door.
I'm kind of halfway.
I'll see my hand in front of my face. Nope.
Yeah, you're pretty sure it's a portcullis. It probably raises somehow.
Yeah,
Maybe that chain raises it.
maybe.
I'll come over just kind of, hesitantly, and I'll look up at the wall and say, well, maybe if you give me a boost.
I shall give her a boost.
All right, you're gonna try to climb up the wall. Make me an athletics check.
All right.
With a +2 because you're getting an assist from Stitch.
Sweet. It works.
All right, you're about halfway up. Give me another one.
Oh boy.
This one without a +2.
Without. Okay. Yep. Ooh, I'd like to Benny that, please.
Okay.
Good idea.
As you're going up the side, you grab onto a brick and part of it crumbles and your hand comes loose. But
There we go.
at the last second, you reach out and grab another one. And all right, you
Whew.
make it to the top of the wall.
Okay, and I just kind of,
let me
I was gonna say I kind of do the
let me
What
unmask
is it?
so
Yep.
you see what you see next.
Kilroy was here.
Kilroy.
Yep.
Not
Kinda
Kill
doing
Bill.
No.
Okay.
All right. And I imagine everything that we're hearing from in there is now louder.
Actually, give me a second here. As you make it to the top of the wall, the music stops and it goes quiet. All right, give me a moment. I have a second map to share.
Spooky music time.
Yeah, when the music stops, that's when you know you're in serious danger.
No, it's when you start getting the spooky music.
Well, yeah, but
We're getting
you know.
spooky music now. Okay.
All right, this is what you can see. There's a stairway up that looks like it goes into a door into that tower.
Okay.
There's another stairway up that looks like it goes into a door into that tower. Actually, oh, it won't let me put the mask back on anymore. All right, it looks like
That's fine.
you can't actually see it, but from that tower, it looks like there's a passageway that runs back to the back towers as well. There's also a main set of double doors on the main structure of the house. There's a smaller opening over here. That does not have a door. The doors on the main house look saggy, like
Like they're ready to fall off.
like they're ready to fall off.
Okay.
And make me a notice check.
Okay.
All right. You hear some muttering and laughing, and from somewhere out of the dark comes a tin cup spiraling through the air, and it lands on the top of the wall with a bonk and bounces and then clatters, off the wall down onto the wooden deck where everybody else is.
Yeah, she'd
You didn't
probably.
see anybody throw it, but somebody threw something at you.
Okay, so with eyes as big as dinner plates at this point, she's gonna say, "Someone threw a cup at me, and
They
I
can
can't
see
see
it
him."
because it bounced down there. It's like laying on
Oh,
the
it bounced down
ground,
there,
right down
and I'm
there
like,
by where in fact it came to rest at Captain's feet.
and I'll say, "Mhm." And I look
Babes?
at them, and I'm kind of whimpering, and I'm like, no, nobody threw that at me that I could see.
I pick it up as just a tin cup.
It's just a tin cup. Make me a notice check.
Was that me a notice check or Napes a notice
It's
check?
you. Yeah,
Okay. Something to do with the.
it's a tin cup, but it doesn't look like it's had anything in it in a long time.
I'm gonna throw it back over the wall. Land in the middle
I
of that
s-
courtyard.
I see that, and I'm
All
like,
right, it
"Ooh."
lands with a clunk. Do you need help? Okay. Names, let's see. Woo. Napes,
Mm-hmm.
a moldy stale biscuit hit you on the side of the head,
Ouch!
hard enough
Rude.
that you are shaken by it. It's like,
Yeah.
somebody threw a cup at me, and then BAP! This nasty, stale, moldy biscuit smacked you right on the back of the head.
Okay, yeah, she's coming down off the wall.
All right, you're
Done.
only shaken for a moment.
What's that?
All right,
Yeah.
when you hop back down off the wall, the chanting resumes. And they
Yep.
start singing again and laughing and cheering.
I'm like, hmm. And is that, as I'm standing there with like my back to the wall, so I'm like here, I'm just kind of like, breathing, and I'm like, nope, do not want. Is that green glow still coming from, since I'm facing that way? Is the
Yes,
green
it
glow?
is.
Green glow in the dark ship in the water. Yeah, nope. I say, Captain, this place is cursed. We should go.
Well, we knew that when we come here, didn't we?
Pretty much.
You said there was ghosts. You didn't say it was cursed.
Alistair walks over and grabs this chain and just yanks on it. Does it ring a bell or anything?
It does. Actually, give me an athletics check. It's a rusty chain. It's not wanting to move.
Well,
You give it a yank, it doesn't. You
Let
want
me
to try? You don't have to Benny it. You can just try again.
I'll try it
I'll grab it with both arms.
and swing.
Stitch, give me a hand here. Oh shit!
All right.
Um,
This is what happens. You and Stitch yank on it so hard, there's a rusty squeak, and then a clang, and then the chain breaks off.
and the chain breaks off, and Alistair goes over backwards on his bum.
Yeah, you fall down with about 2 foot of rusty chain in your hand. Um, but as you do so, the chanting again stops, and ominously and slowly, the door creaks open.
All we're missing is Lurch saying you rang.
I know, right? I'm like, yeah.
The door
And
swings open, exposing the courtyard, and now it is quiet. And it's not entirely quiet. You hear the sound of a dropped tin cup. Clang, 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 clang.
No need to stop for us. Let the party roll. Les bon temps roulés.
Lieutenant
Do I speak
Jeffers.
French? Yes, I do.
Lieutenant Jeffers. Let me get my other map back up here.
I love that icon of Jeffers. Snoot. Talk about a Richard Cranium.
Alright, images. I closed my own map. There we go. Jeffers is going to skeptically, he's like, somebody playing tricks. I'll have none of it. And he moves in there and he starts to load up his musket.
Huh.
I'm peeking around the corner, and I'm gonna run in real quick and be like, right behind.
Actually, let's see what Lieutenant Jeffers has on him. You did give him back all his stuff, right? All right, he's got a
Yes.
pistol. He didn't
yeah.
bring a musket. He's got a pistol.
Yeah,
And he's loading that up.
Actually, I have his musket, so you can take it off of mine and give it to him.
No, he brought the pistol.
And seeing him load his pistol, I will load mine.
Yep, I'll do that, but shakily.
All right, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I guess.
All roads
there's-
lead to Rome, it would seem.
Yeah. And being
Unless
the captain.
Unless we want to
Oh, yeah.
explore the towers.
Yeah, the
You
captain
start going up
starts
towards those
forwards
front
towards
doors.
this door, but he's like the cowardly lion doing a.
Dig it, you guys keep going. I'm gonna. She's a little. I'm gonna be like
freaked
Give me
out.
a
there.
moment here. Need to arrange something.
So, I'm up again in that corner, just trying to load my little pistol without, dropping anything.
Captain
All right.
LeFevre. Is LeFevre a name that we would have heard all the way back in England?
Make me a common knowledge check.
No.
He's not one you have heard. You step up to the doors, and before you can even you reach up to push one, and it kind of falls off the hinges and falls into the dust with a loud clatter. And inside you can see a room around which sit skeletal figures at a table. They are unmoving skeletal figures. They look like they've been sitting there for a long time. Some of them they're like covered in cobwebs. There's a dust-covered bottle on the table and several mugs. There's a knife sticking out of the table, and
Any tin cups?
there are tin cups everywhere.
Okay.
So
It's One-Eyed Willie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking
He was
And you
the
about
said
first Cootie.
when you said
Captain LeFevre.
and there's a green shimmering in the air, and in the center of the room a figure appears. He's kind of faintly glowing green, and you can see through him, and you can see that his clothes look scorched and ripped, and there's a hole in the breast where it looks like maybe a musket ball took him in the shoulder at some point. But he will appear with a glowing sword in his hand and say, "Who disturbs the dead?"
Yeah, with that, I'd have to do that. Knees knocking. I don't turn and run
I'll take a
immediately.
spirit check from everybody else as well. Let's see.
Yeah, I kind of figured we were getting there because that's not gonna be okay. Let's see, no.
That's not gonna be okay.
Nope.
Hold it together, Napes. Aye. Name be Alistair Cray.
Lieutenant Jeffers scoffs.
He ain't afraid of shit, is he?
Yeah,
Certainly
I'm just
ain't
like,
afraid
yeah,
of no
like,
glowing
Lieutenant
I'll take
Jeffers
care of 'em
steps
then.
up and raises his musket, his pistol, and shoots a shot that passes right through LeFevre's head and explodes a box behind him. And LeFevre will turn around and look at the crate and the rum leaking out of it and say, "Is that the best you have? Now, tell me why you disturbed my rest before you join us." And with this, the four guys sitting around the table kind of like start shifting and moving, and the cobwebs start, falling off of them as they kind of get to their feet.
We be needing your charts, Captain. Just your charts, and we'll be on our way.
Everybody be needing my charts, but nobody ever has anything to offer when they come. And when they don't, they join the crew. Ain't that right, boys? And all the skeletons' jaws start clattering. Now, what be you willing to offer me? Or better yet, let me make you an offer, Captain.
Well,
Slowly
Out
talk like
there in
creeping
the
up.
water lies LeFevre's Lament, my ship. Aboard that ship lies my bones, and around the neck of those bones lies a locket that once belonged to me true love. Until I have that locket, I cannot rest. If you would retrieve that locket, I would give you my logbook. Or you, and he'll point his glowing sword right at your chest, Alistair, can face me a one-on-one to first blood. And he'll turn around and look at the cask that has the bullet hole in it again, that passed right through him. And,
that's a bit one-sided, isn't it?
that's not my problem now, is it?
He turns around and he looks at the crew and he goes, "How long can you hold your breath?"
Alistair, make me an occult check.
Nice.
For a moment, your mind flashes back to that arm wrestling contest in the pub in England where you broke the man's hand and then healed it, and you remember the excitement and the rage and the power you felt. And you're thinking about, maybe if I could control that power, if I could channel that power, it could hurt it.
Okay.
So,
Let me try this.
yep, you do that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Woo.
Yeah, Alistair pulls his cutlass.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Die.
Since
Again.
not one of you volunteered to hold your breath and dive down in that ship.
Well,
Well,
no, not yet. I was waiting. I didn't know if something was gonna happen, occultish wise. So, I'm gonna peek my head around from LeFevre's and just kind of be like, "Is that green glow? Was that you?" Says this tiny little person behind LeFevre's.
Green
you say
glow?
that to-
What green glow? As he glows green.
Well,
Oh,
you're
you guys, I did not. I thought I made him visible.
Nope.
My
I just was imagining he was standing there in front of the table. So
apologies. Let me do that. There he is.
Huh.
Standing
See,
right
that's
there
not-
in front of the table.
all right, I need to zoom
And
in.
he
'cause I
is
gotta
glowing
this
green.
picture. Okay, I say, well, you're kind of glowing green.
Let's see about you.
He'll look at
Right.
his hands.
Greasy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And it's just like,
Anyways, that's my ultimatum. You, me, one-on-one out there in the courtyard. Or
If
you
I go-
fetch me locket, or you all
If I go get
die.
your locket, can you keep the seas calm? We had a heck of a time getting here, and I don't want to be swimming in that if it's going to get like that again.
Hey, that be the curse. It's a curse that prevents people from getting here. Now that you're here, I doubt it'd bother you, but I have no control over it.
Mm.
and I'll look at you and I'll say, well, it's Thor that, controls the storms.
Sure.
Usually.
Mm-hmm. More sky ferries. I'm not too smart, so yeah, I'm going to volunteer to go get this locket.
Well, and I'll say, well, wait, I'm little. I can
He's
get
like,
in
"All
and
right,
out of there
lad.
quicker.
If I were you, I wouldn't go alone."
Yeah, I'll say, well, why don't you tie a rope to me, and I'll go in. But if
I'll
I
be
yank on
grumbling.
that rope twice, you pull me out of there. Because I don't think I could pull you out, but you can certainly pull me out.
Alistair is certainly hoping that these guys opt to go swimming. Because his knees are still knocking looking at this ghost.
Oh yeah. I mean, she's shaking, but she's like, and I said, besides, it's kind of a sad story, and it's just from his lost love, and that's sad.
I'm still grumbling. Let's just get this over with.
Okay.
And we'll go out.
And I'm like hanging on to your shirt tail
And
as
he'll
we're
say,
going, 'cause I'm still a little.
"Boys, let 'em pass. If the sea don't kill 'em, we might get rest."
And you just need the locket, right? Not your bones.
For the love of a woman.
We can. One's right.
And at that moment, I'll pull the scarf off my head and be like, Well, from a woman's point of view, I get it. So I'm like, all right. Now, is the ship glowing still?
Oh yeah.
Of course it is. Okay.
So
I will just
Captain,
kind of
what'll
like
return?
I've got a like in my pocket there's a it's in my inventory, but there's a little carved horse. I'm going to take it out of my pocket and just kind of rub it for a minute, and I'm going to hand it to Alistair and say, if I don't come back, would you get this back to my home? My brother
I'll
gave
do
it
that,
to me.
lass. I'll do that for you, lass.
My brother
Alistair
gave it to me.
pulls out his St. Elmo's and gives it a kiss.
Yep. And all right. I imagine we have rope with us somewhere. It's in the boat or something.
This is a game about pirates. There's rope everywhere.
That's what I figured. There's always
So-
rope.
If we're seeing the main mast with the crow's nest sticking up out of the water, we can assume that the deck of the ship probably lies about 20-25 feet down.
Yeah, 20, 25 feet. It's not in deep water. No.
Okay. So is there
There's
still like
no
some
part of
of it
this
that's
reef
above
that is
water?
deep water.
Oh, I was
There's
gonna
a
say, is
mast
there
above water.
just the mast?
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks like it was a 2-mast ship.
Okay.
Not a particularly large ship, but it was bigger than your boat.
Okay. So,
Alright. So who's going out on the longboat with you?
I would if
Are all of you going to
that's an
go?
option.
You could all go. He's not going to stop you. This
Yeah.
is the one way he could get his curse lifted if you guys succeed, which is why he's not just killing you. He thinks you might let him get his eternal rest.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll go
So-
because I've got no desire to fight this guy and his.
Yeah,
Things.
and I'm like, well, it's, he's a spirit. He doesn't, it's not like he's gonna bleed if you slice him. But Sven says that the map is covering up the rolls
Yeah, I got it.
results. Okay, cool. But yeah, okay, so I guess we all go out to the boat. Unless Jeffers is gonna hang back with the dude and, chill.
Well, somebody will hold the boat there above us as we go down and go swimming for whatever it is we're seeking his locket.
Mm,
Hold on, I'm looking up the environmental rules.
Mm.
It's not in the GM guide. It's in the player's guide. Drowning. That's what I wanted.
Drowning, yay!
You can hold your breath for a number of rounds equal to 2 plus your vigor die. After which, well, we will deal with that. So, what's everybody's vigor?
I've got a 4.
Yeah, you can't hold your breath for very long. You got 6 rounds down there before you
I've
have
got-
to surface.
I've got an 8.
Okay. So,
Yeah, Stitch has the best chance down there. He can hold it the longest. Jeffers
I
has
mean-
no intention of diving down in there. He'll go with you to steady the boat, but he's not
Right.
going down in there.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Hmm.
A lot of sailors of the time couldn't actually swim.
It's because a lot of the waters of the world are too cold to be swimming in.
yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
And sea monsters.
Sea monsters are real. All right, so you guys get out there. I will take a boating check. It seems that my Serenscape has stopped again. Let me
Oh, yeah.
let me
I mean, it was just playing.
Yeah, it does
A
its
minute
thing
ago.
from time to time.
Maybe it was at the end of that song.
Yeah, I noticed that it as a GM, it will stop for me, but the other players still hear it going, and then I'll have to kill the process and start it again.
Yeah, that's strange.
Okay, boat.
All right, you can get out there. Let me share the map. Made me a nice little shipwreck map. Can you guys see that?
It's got a question mark, so it must be loading.
There it
We're getting
goes.
there. Yes.
There we go.
I'm going to assume anybody in the lower corner of the map there is on the boat because I don't have a token for the boat.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you want to put the boat right over the wreck. We'll say right here then. Consider anybody there in the boat.
Okay. Now, I can be in the water, like on the mast, possibly watching, because the water's pretty clear, right?
The water is extremely clear. The waters of the Caribbean are mind-bogglingly clear.
Yes.
Especially on the leeward side of the island. The waters on the Atlantic side of Barbados, probably not so crystal clear. Because you got the whole Atlantic out that way.
True.
All right, you guys are on the boat. I'll take notice checks as you look down into the murk.
This be with or without the... Let's see. What are they?
I can delete the pirate bones because
Alertness.
you elected not to have a fight with them yet.
No, not that one. Look out. Just checking to see.
All right.
So just curious, the the lookout feature.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about it?
Okay.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Oh,
wondering
yeah.
if.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
Cool. Just checking. Ooh.
all right. There are shapes moving around down there.
Of course there are.
Of course there are. Sharks.
We didn't
You
bring our
know.
spear guns, did we?
Yeah, I didn't bring my harpoon. Yes, I've got one.
Cutlass as it is. Alistair
Yeah.
begins getting down to his.
You see
Well,
something? Let me
needs
see
to,
if I
Chet.
get a picture of this here. Nope, don't have a picture of it. You see something come scuttling out of that hole. A crab about the size of a Great Dane.
I'm like, oh, that would be good eating if we, caught it.
Necessarily.
This
Little
crab
crab's
is as
edible.
big as you.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's going to want you for eating.
All right. LeFevre didn't tell you where to find his body, but you can see the hull of the boat down there. What you see is what you see. It looks like part of the top deck has burnt or rotted away. You can see, scattered bones in the sand and around the ship. And you see that one crab, and he's kind of sitting there gnawing on a thigh bone.
On
Or,
a thought.
Where is the green light coming
picking
from?
it and
The green light is coming. Actually, the green light is coming from in the hold.
Hmm. I wonder if that's where we need to go.
oh, I'm sure. Of course it
Mr.
is.
Alright.
Bloodknock, I'll back you up on this. And Alistair starts unlacing his vest and taking
Yeah,
his boots off. And
Yeah, same here. I'll strip down
Yeah.
my
Well,
my
and
long johns.
once we've hit like warmer areas, she basically hasn't worn shoes and until we were actually in the thing, so she doesn't even have shoes on at this point. So I'm gonna I'll say I can be at the top of the mast to be sure of, look for bigger meat eaters. Like, do you have sharks down here, right?
Damn it.
I've heard of them.
I keep forgetting when I remove NPCs that it removes Jeffers.
Oh, whoops. So let's see.
Jeffers is staying on the
He is.
jolly
And
boat
so we'll
anyway.
go ahead and we will start this. Alright. You move at half speed in the water.
give me just a moment, Jingo.
Alright.
Except for me.
Can we
I
move the boat
think.
directly over the hold, or what we perceive to be the hold?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll assume that the boat is over the hold, even if your tokens are there. So any movement will start.
In one of those 9 squares.
Napes, right there.
Yep.
Is the mast. That is the mast that is sticking out of the water, and it has half a crow's nest in it. And you can see from here that it looks like probably the port side of the crow's nest was blown off by cannon shot, because it's just not there.
Okay.
And this ship
But-
shows other signs. It was in a bad way when it got this far and sank.
Okay. Yep. I'll what do you call it? Let's see.
So what we're gonna do
So-
is
My movement is actually I think it didn't you tell me because of the fleet-footed?
oh
my
yeah,
swim
it works.
is the same as my
No, but it applies to swim as well. So your
so my pace-
calculate your base pace is all right. With fleet-footed, your base pace should not be 6. It should be 8. So let me fix that.
Okay. Yeah, I think I tried to fix it and it wouldn't fix.
All right.
Yeah, just doing the calculations, Alistair realizes that he might be able to swim to the deck of this ship and back up in one breath, but getting down in that hold, he's not the greatest swimmer.
Mm.
Because if it's 25 feet deep and each square is about 6 feet, it's about 2 yards. So we're talking the deck of this thing is 4
I thought
rounds
each square
down.
was. I thought
A
each
qu-
square was
square
5
is-
feet.
A square is about 6 feet. So 24.
Okay.
I'd say the deck is about 4 squares down, which is just a little bit more than somebody swimming at standard pace of 3. So somebody
Right.
that was swimming and dashing could probably get down to the deck in a round.
Oh God. Because I've got a D10 when I'm dashing.
Yeah, the D10 adds to it. So you roll the D10 and add that to your 8 to get a total, and then divide that in half for your swimming speed. So yeah, you can cover a lot more ground down there. You can't hold your breath as long, but you can swim a lot faster than everybody else.
Yeah, I can get going a lot quicker. So. All right.
And I'm going to allow a raise on an athletics check to increase your speed by an additional 2. If
All right.
that's your action for the round, trying to just, you know.
Well, and I'll say, I'm really fast. I can try.
But
Can't
if
hold
you're
my breath
doing
this
that
long.
and running, the athletics check for the additional 2 will be at a -2 because you're running for the extra. All right, so let's go ahead and start. Alistair, you're first. What are you gonna do?
Alistair, after sitting here talking with the crew, Nate seems like she's probably the fastest in the water. Ensign Bloodknock, the most hardy and fit. So Alistair will look at the two of them and say, I'm prepared to go in. I've got your back. And he'll go on hold.
Okay.
Okay.
With his cutlass drawn and stripped down to his white linens.
Napes, you gonna go up the mast or you gonna swim?
I'm gonna swim. I'm gonna try it just
All
because
right, so you're going
we
for
gotta try.
maximum speed. Roll
Yes.
your run die. Click the run
Okay.
button. It should roll your run die for you.
Where is?
It's down by the modifier box.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
And it didn't roll
rolled
the
a
right
6.
one for you.
Oh.
Okay, roll a d10 because that's
Okay.
what we're
It rolled a
talking.
6 anyway.
Plus your base of 8 is 14, so that's a move of 7. If you want to make an athletics check at -2, you can get another 2 points of movement. But if you fail that check, there's a price for failure. Or you can take the 7, and that'll get you all the way down into the hold this round.
And how many, it'll do that all
It's
in
only
one
going to
round?
take you 5 of the 7 that you have to get into the hold. So you can
Okay.
swim down there. All right.
Okay.
When you get into the
Yep.
hold,
Yep.
you can see that there are 2 other sidewalkers in there, and they're both
Okay.
turned to look at you and yummy, yum, 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 yum. Make me a notice check.
Okay.
You see at the back of the hold is a moldering pile of bones, and there's something with a green glowing light. You can move
Okay.
to it because you still have 2 inches of movement, but it will allow the crabs to take cheap shots at you.
Yep. So,
So
if
you want to
I'm not,
move?
if I'm not right next to them.
When you came down in, you didn't see them until you got down in the hold, and you are right next to them.
Okay. Is this an attack of opportunity kind of thing? Or?
Yes.
Okay. The
I
only
think
thing
they
she
just
would have
call it
brought
a free
down with
shot
her.
here.
Yeah, the only thing she would have taken down with her would have been her dagger. So, that's what she'd have to protect herself.
Do you want to fight the crabs, or you just want to risk getting snapped?
I'm gonna risk it because of my speed. Hopefully,
Got risk it for the biscuit.
Yep.
Smart move.
You're just going to move for the bracelet or for the necklace?
Yep. Necklace.
Or the
Yep.
charm? All right. One of them snaps at you.
Oh.
No, would that be? Oh, you know what? Hang on. I would not have this on. There we go. Okay, so it did the same parry. That's good.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It snaps you with its claw on the leg, and it draws blood. You are hurt. You can soak that if you like.
Soak. Trying to remember. Yeah,
It costs a penny. There's a soak button on. You just tell me you're gonna soak, and I can click it.
okay. Yep, I'm gonna soak.
Oh no, you do not soak.
Uh-oh.
Can I Benny that or no? That's a critical
No,
failure.
not
Damn
a
it.
critical failure. And you are shaking. You go to swim away from the crab, and it slashes you on the leg.
Now,
And
does my parry? Oh,
but
okay. It
you
had a
do,
6, and he got through with a 1. Okay, I
yes,
got it.
you
Got
do
it.
get the remainder of your movement, and you have swum over the top of that amulet. The other crab was not paying attention and did not get a shot at you, but you
Okay.
are wounded and critical
Well, I was gonna say,
failure.
would I have
Just a
gotten?
second. Allow me to think about what I'm going to do with this critical failure, because that's not good.
Yeah.
Critical failure on the vigor roll. Because it's a because it's a soak roll, I'm not going to apply an additional penalty. Yes, Alistair, you can interrupt.
The question would be, did he see this happen from where he's at?
Make me that notice check.
No. So I wouldn't interrupt.
So, all right. So these cards that we have,
Mm-hmm.
what is that something that can?
You can play it at any time.
And would it? Could it possibly? I forgot about the cards. Do something to negate the attack if I hadn't.
If you
if
had
I
a
had-
card that would do something to that effect.
Okay. All right. So how do I?
You grab it and drag it in. You're going to do shaking in their boots. I'm looking at your
Uh-huh.
cards. All right.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna be kind of like it's underwater, but kind of a thing. Make nasty, gross or funny
right.
faces or scary faces. So I just go like that.
All right. So be it.
She does. Yeah, she'll do a, I don't know, she'll brandish her dagger and just be all like,
I'm going to say that, you swim over there and you grab the chain of that amulet and you pull it up, and there's this hugely bright flash of light.
Ooh.
You did not avoid the wound, but everybody from this, it lit up the whole sky, and everybody but you is now shaken by this.
Oh, I saw it. Damn it.
Ooh.
Everybody saw it. The card said everybody except her gets shaken.
Yep.
Yeah. So, sorry about the shaken, but, Just remember, shaken, not stirred.
Anyways, that's your turn.
Okay.
Lieutenant Jeffers becomes unshaken, and I'm not sure what he can do firing into the water at the crabs.
Isn't going to do anything.
It isn't going to do anything, and he damn well knows it. But he's
He could
he's
do
just,
the number 9, the one that's on the deck, maybe.
even that deck part is underwater.
30 feet underwater.
Right.
The bullet isn't going to
Yes,
travel
it's like
that far.
25 feet underwater. The bullet, he can't do anything,
25
so
feet. Yeah,
he's just going to stand by. Stitch, you are shaken. Make me a spirit check.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Just
no,
double
you're
click
not.
your spirit.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. There it is. Yeah.
You are no longer shaken.
Woohoo.
So you may act normally this round.
Can I
make
hold
me a
my
notice
action?
check. Yes, you can go on hold.
You notice check?
Yes.
Oh.
There is blood in the water where Napes went into that hole.
Whoa.
Damn it.
That's.
Yeah, I'm
that's
going to put myself on hold, and I will. I'll wait to see what's happening with Napes.
Well,
All right.
so the vigor, was that for what was that roll for then?
That was your soak roll, and you
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that was to soak the wound.
Okay.
All right.
She might have a scar, maybe, or something. I don't know if
She
that's
might.
how that works. That's okay. She'd be like, look what I got. I got me a scar. I'm a
Knowledge
real
bumps.
pirate. I'm a real pirate.
Hmm.
And this crab comes scuttling through the blood and murk towards you. Clackety clack clack clack, but he doesn't get you. That crab is still, got his eyes pointing every which way. He's messed up.
Yeah. The way their eyes are. Yeah.
That crab status has been removed. He will scuttle over here and start scuttling up the mast so we can get up to the surface and near that boat full of tasty snacks up there.
Heh heh.
Stitch, new round. You are still on hold.
Ooh.
Can I-
Joker.
Can I see the crab?
You can see the one crab. He's coming up the mast. Yeah, he
Can
hasn't broken the surface yet. He's about 10
Well,
feet down.
As soon as he breaks the surface, can I take a shot in with my flintlock? Or
Um,
remain up?
at that point, yeah, you can come off hold after he moves, and then take your shot then.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, technically, Alistair was still on hold, but he would have just come off hold for the next round.
All
So.
right, because you
Yeah,
got
because
dealt
you
a
got
joker,
a Joker.
which means everybody gets a Benny.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I haven't used one yet today.
No, you haven't.
Alistair is shaken. Spirit roll. Yeah.
Nice.
Blow it out of the water.
All right. Did Napes take a rope with her down? Didn't you like tie a rope
Yeah,
off?
I was
and we were to pull
saying
you
that,
up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought
you
she
get-
said she did. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's probably what Jeffers is doing. Is he's probably holding the rope.
There we go.
Okay. And yeah, Alistair's going to go on hold as well, and he'll take a shot at this crab if he needs to, or pull on the rope or whatever later. Can I see that? Is Napes back where I can
Actually,
see her in the hold?
She's
got this block.
actually her, and you cannot see her where she's at now.
Okay, can't see her. Okay, very good.
You can probably see the rope going down, and
yeah, you can see the rope. You know where she's at. Napes, it is
Yes.
your turn. There's a crab there, but he has missed you. You have the amulet. You are shaken. So what I need from you is a spirit check.
spirit check. Okay. Oops. Traits. There we go.
You are no longer shaken.
Woohoo!
Um,
Can I, like, stab at this crab or something so that I don't have
yeah,
to
you can attack it.
take an
Yeah.
auto. Okay. So, here. Not my best, but I'm better at throwing it than I am that, but, yeah. Let's try that. Oh, wait, that's the damage. Okay. Let's
There
do
is no
that.
try.
Do it or not, there is no try.
It would appear that my camera's crashed.
All right. You rolled damage, not an attack roll.
Oh, no.
Make your
Well,
attack
what?
roll. As if you hit him, I'll let that stand.
Wait.
Oh wait, yeah, I didn't.
No.
I forgot.
Dagger. Fighting.
Oh
Fighting,
no,
dagger.
the wounds. You're right. You hit him. You didn't get a
Okay,
raise, but you
because-
hit him. Do your damage.
All right. Dudes, we're
man.
having crab for supper,
Somebody start melting the butter.
right?
Believe it or not, that crab had a toughness of 13. 17 is
Wow.
exactly the amount of damage you needed to kill it. And you
Ah,
pop, right between its eyes into the shell, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
kind of goes limp. That crab is dead.
And he is impaled on my knife, and
He's
I'm
big.
gonna. Oh yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna, I'm gonna hang on to him and leave the. I'm gonna kind of like leave the dagger in him, and then I'm gonna just like grab, I don't know, part of him or something.
He's gonna be real. He's very heavy.
Yep. I'm gonna hang on to him, and somehow, and because that necklace, I'll just have it twirled around my fingers or whatever, and I'm gonna hold on to everything and grab the rope and pull it twice and
Okay.
hope he can yank me up.
Lieutenant Jeffers on the other end of the rope. Well, all right, Alistair, you requested interrupt. You can have interrupt.
Just to do what Jeffers pull,
And he's
and we
pulling.
start.
Let me give him an athletics check. He doesn't have athletics. All right, he starts pulling. You're about halfway out of the water.
All right.
Thank God
One,
for Joker
one more
Bones.
round, and you'll be back in the boat.
Oh, didn't we all have a +2 because of the
Yes,
Joker?
you should have had a +2. Yeah, it should.
There we go.
Let's see.
That's okay.
That crab is dead.
Yeah.
That crab is no longer shaken, but watches you go by as the rope pulls you out and can't do anything about it. Crab 9 gets up out of the water and, up into the crow's nest, which is, and he's reaching his claws out to try to get onto your boat, which you probably can't do. But Ensign Stitch, you can come off hold and shoot him if you want.
I will.
Crab number 9. And you
And miss.
Minus
good at
2.
everything. I
Are
know.
you-
I don't know where I get the -2 from. It doesn't matter. Anyway. Could I Benny that?
If
I
you
didn't
want,
critically
yes.
play. Yeah, I'll use a Benny then. I figure it's almost the end of today's session. Better use them before
There
I
you go.
lose them.
Yeah, they don't save.
Yeah, this is a -2, and I'm not quite sure why.
Maybe they turned encumbrance back on again. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not going to do me much good. Yeah, I still miss.
I don't know why it's giving you a -2.
Medium range -2. It's got you at medium range, and so yeah. Don't forget, Savage Worlds actually does calculate distance on the map.
Okay. So it wouldn't have been medium range. You'll hit him. Go ahead and do damage.
There you go.
Sure.
Well, plus you'd be a +2 anyway, so.
Where is he? There he is.
Oh, we're on a new round. I had second.
Okay.
All right, so it spangs off of his skull, and you guys can drag her back into the boat and be off.
Hang on a second. It says miss, and then I rolled damage, and yeah.
He has a higher toughness than the damage.
Oh, okay.
He has a toughness of 13, so unless you get a really lucky roll like she did, these crabs were hard to hurt. They were dangerous. But you can get her And this big dead crab back into the boat.
And I'm I'll say as I'm
And you can see she's
and then
got a
I
gash
hold
in
up.
her leg too.
Yep, and I'll hold up my left hand, and it's got the necklace in it.
That is still glowing. All right. Well, it is 11:57 a.m. local time. This would be a perfect place to cliffhanger it, and we can go back and talk to Captain LeFevre at the beginning of next session and see where this goes.
Fantastic.
I thank you guys
Man.
for joining me for this story today. I hope you had fun. I know I did. Um,
Yeah.
let me do a couple of shout outs here real quick. Um, First, I want to shout out.
Thanks, sir.
Marbanya, our captain. He's also a Savage World streamer like myself. He does Deadlands Reloaded, The Flood on Thursday nights. He has a really great crew of crazies over there, so go check him out. Also, oh, wrong place.
You disappeared, Rob.
Oh, I was typing. You can also find me Sunday nights, but not this Sunday because it's Super Bowl Sunday, over at Spencer77's channel playing Starfinder with his crew. We have a lot of fun as well. And one last and most important shout out.
Oh, the boss.
Of course.
Boss man.
You can catch me later today over at Martian Cat's channel where we do choices. It is a choose your own adventure story where we voice act the roles of the characters in the book. Cheesy, bad accents, bad jokes, the whole 9 yards. Come check us out. No better way to spend your Saturday evening than clowning with us. With that, let me look at the Twitchoverse and see if there's anybody out there that I can raid.
And don't forget Valentine's Day to those
Oh, yes.
who that pertains
Eh,
to, me being
Yes.
one of them.
Yes, let's remind you that it is Valentine's Day, so
In a
give the
couple
love
days.
of your life
Sunday.
a big old smoochy smooch, and let's see, not tabletop RPGs, but we're going to go raid. So make sure I get that right. We're going to go raid a Nubai is. Friend of mine who I previously streamed before. He's not currently playing in any stream games, but we'll go over there and say hi to him.
Like Anubis, but a new bias.
Yes.
I like
Did it not?
I get it.
What is it not
Nope,
doing?
it didn't do it.
It didn't.
I
Is he
mean, it's
still
got the
live? He might have not. He might not be live now. He might have just. No, for whatever reason, it did not work.
hmm, weird.
Huh. Raids don't seem to want to work.
Hmm.
I don't
Ugh.
know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. Give me a second.
Ghost in the machine.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. Um, Marvanya, thanks for the biddies. All right, well, I am not going to fight the Twitterverse. We are just going to go ahead and sail off into that sunset, and we will see you next week where we will have more fun piratey mayhem.
Woohoo!
Until then, smooth sailing, folks.
Hasta bye-bye.
Hasta la Wiedersehen.
Good session. Good session.
Yes.
You guys are a ton of fun, man. I like the pace of play and everything. You know, it's everybody's concentrating on the fact that hey, you're in a game, and sometimes the chatter and